Hello. Today I want to talk some more about God, my very favorite subject. The reason that this site is called Guru for God is because my teacher, my guru, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, teaches about God when he teaches about meditation. There are many practices of meditation out there, mindfulness and many others, and there's no discussion or teaching about God. But meditation, when you have a practice that transcends, is all about experiencing God, experiencing universal God. So Maharishi's first teaching in the tradition of the ancient Vedic masters is that when you transcend in your meditation practice, then the experience is of universal God. Universal God is the basis for most religions out there in the world. And universal God is your experience when you transcend the relative field in your meditation practice. Now, this world that we live in, our universe and our infinities of universes, this is all the relative field. The relative field is eternally changing. It is eternally evolving to its fulfillment. And it is manifest with phenomenal forms that are ever-changing. And it is bounded by space, time, and causation. This is the relative field, bounded by all these rules and phenomenal forms that come and go. But what underlies this relative field is that field of the absolute, that is universal God. That field is eternally never changing. It is unmanifest. It is unbounded. It is that field of the absolute, your self. The Sanskrit word Atma means self, and that absolute field is yourself. It is that field of universal God, divine being, that is yourself. The first experience of God is transcending in your meditation practice. So God is the transcendent. Universal God is the transcendent, and that is the consciousness of the field of the absolute when you transcend in your meditation practice. The consciousness of the relative field, where we experience the world every day and every night, is waking, dreaming, or sleeping. These are the first states of consciousness: waking, dreaming, and sleeping. But there are other states of higher consciousness. And the fourth state is the transcendent, that is experienced when you transcend the relative field. You transcend the field of creation, you transcend all the thoughts of your mind, and then you experience universal God. Now, when you return to your experience of the relative field after transcending, that experience of universal God is infused in your mind, in your physiology, in your heart. And this infusion of universal God, of that experience of pure consciousness, transforms you. It brings more harmony to your life here in the world. It brings more life-supporting decisions that you make, life-supporting for you, life-supporting for everyone, and for all of creation. Life-supporting because those decisions are more in the direction of evolution. Evolution is the will of God. That's why there's all this change here in the relative field, such that evolution can bring all of creation to its fulfillment in the consciousness of God. So that first experience of God is the transcendent. When you transcend in your meditation practice, that experience is universal God. And that experience transforms you. In time, when you have a regular meditation practice and you're transcending repeatedly, in time, your mind and your physiology and your heart are so cultured and transformed by all that experience in the transcendent, all that experience of universal God, that you rise to that status of the Absolute. You rise to that status of yourself. You become established in yourself, and no experience of the relative field can shake that. Now you are in permanent union with universal God. You hold two states of consciousness simultaneously, the consciousness of universal God alongside the consciousness of the relative field, the waking, dreaming, or sleeping. You hold these two states of consciousness simultaneously. You are in permanent union with universal God, and you live God here in the world as you go about your life. This is the first state of enlightenment, and it is the fifth state of consciousness. In following podcasts, I'll talk some more about the evolution of the realization of God, because God continues to reveal themselves to you as you continue with your meditation practices. But I want you to know that every time that you transcend in your meditation practice, you are experiencing universal God. And that experience is transforming you. And eventually, in time, you will be established in yourself that is universal God. Thank you, beloved Guru. All glory be to thee.